I am reading the book of Feeling is the Secret, and this book is of Neville Goddard. Uh, if you know about the law of assumption, which you might have already come across by now, since you are in this manifestation channel, the law of assumption is an assumption. So it says that any kind of assumption, even if it is false at this point of time, if you persist on it, it becomes true. This is actually a spiritual law. So you might not have any logical explanation to this, and to be honest, manifestation is like whatever you have automatically persist on, and whatever you had believed on for a long time, that became the truth. So if you could do what was not favorable for you, why not do something which can actually help you some way? So this is the chapter is about walk by faith, and if you have read the Bible, you must have already come across this term walk by faith. So let me just start reading you. So start reading this part of the chapter. So Blake asked the question, why is it that the Bible is more entertaining and instructive than any other book? So the author is trying to tell that there is someone named Blake, and uh, he asks him that why is it that the Bible is more entertaining and instructive than any other book? And if you have read Bible, then it actually talks to you in any way. So uh, you'll see, you just randomly open one chapter and it talks to you exactly on your situation, as if like God just wants you to hear that thing. So let me continue. Is it not because it is addressed to the imagination, which is spiritual sensation, and only immediately to the understanding or reason? So the one book called the Bible is composed of 66 books. Take this challenge. Read each book as though the depth of your soul is speaking to your surface mind. As through the fable imagination is speaking to human imagination, as though the divine imagination is speaking to your human imagination and not to your immediate understanding or reasoning mind. So let us examine this thought, and this, please hear this para with a lot of attention, because this is something which I have always felt, and I kind of got a very big reassurance from reading this particular para. So it says that in the second letter to the Corinthians, Paul is a figure in Bible, and so he had written some letter to a church, and I'm not so sure about what had exactly happened, but I know a lot of things of Bible because I read Bible. So we walk by faith and not by sight. So when we walk by sight, we know our way by objects that the eye sees. But Paul tells us to order our life by objects seen only in the imagination. So in other words, when we know where we want to go and what you want to be, you are told not to rearrange your physical structure, but to walk by faith, viewing only the rearranged structure of your mind. And if you will remain faithful to the state of consciousness, what is seen only in your imagination will objectify itself in your world. Paul now adds another observation, saying, this one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind, I strain forward to what lies ahead. Paul's goal was the high calling of God in Jesus Christ, but you need not have such a goal. Your desire could be a successful business. Now, everything begins in the imagination, for man is all imagination, and God is man. God and man differs only in the degree of imagination's intensity. Now, keyed low, man walks by sight or by faith in his human imagination. Walking by sight is easier because buildings rarely move. But when you walk by faith, the objects in your mind's eye must remain as stable as those of the physical eye. So basically, Paul was writing to a church, and his main goal was to highlight Jesus Christ and whatever he had taught to us. But in this point here, Neville is trying to say that you don't have to highlight God in what you are doing, but God, whatever God told us in any religious book, whether you are reading Gita or whether you are reading Bible, God tells those truth to you because he knows that whatever you go through, you will come back to this book to find a way out of that situation. So here also in the Bible, God tells us so many of truths. It's like some of the very remarkable example which I've seen in Bible, like which I had heard. So there was once uh, there was once a time where Jesus was giving a sermon to some of his disciples, and what happened was there were very limited amount of food, and people were disturbed, and they were also very poor, so they did not know how to actually feed such a large crowd. But Jesus said that you just focus on what I'm trying to teach you. Don't focus on the how you will get something, or how you will get to eat, or how will you sustain the such a population of 1000 crowd with some limited amount of food. And then what happens is that when the sermon is over, he multiplies the food which he has. I think I've read something similar, but there it was about Krishna. So there was limited amount of food, and in somebody's home, and Krishna came to eat something at somebody's house, and they were very poor family from where he had come to. So they gave whatever amount of food they had to Krishna, not knowing that he's God. And Krishna, when he leaves the place, he blesses and multiplies it. So basically what it is trying to teach us is, when you focus on God, or when you focus on what you want, the how becomes immaterial, or how it is going to happen, or when it is going to happen, that's still a question. Like, I'm saying that how and when is not in our control. But when your logical mind starts questioning, okay, so this is the circumstance, how do I get myself out of it? Yeah, you are logical to think how do you get yourself out of it. Maybe just work on your imagination, and living in that imagination, walk by faith, not by sight. So your faith might tell you, your sight might tell you, okay, like, I'm such in a difficult situation. But if you keep on focusing on what is right now in the side, you will keep on complaining about it. So today morning also, I was having a conversation with my manifestation coach about my current situation, and I was saying that how disturbed I feel, and how I feel that my journey could have been a bit easier than what it is right now. Like, I've been going through a lot of things, and yes, I have also been a manifestation coach. I have recommended people to do a lot of things. But sometimes when you are in a very triggering situation, and things just bother you a lot, and you are not able to sleep properly, because last night I felt like my SP needs me. My SP, as if like he's trying to call me, but like it was such a soulful feeling, but I, like, there was no such physical evidence that he's calling me, but I just felt it from my heart, from my soul. So and two times I tried to sleep, I tried to sleep around 4 o'clock or something, and that too I felt like I feel like my SP was trying to call me from his soul to mine. So when I say that there is a thought transmission which happens, it happens both ways, whether you call your SP or your SP calls you. That's why it's very important to pass on good messages to them by saying that you are drawn to me, you are attracted to me, you are my husband or you are my wife. You have to say as if like what you want this person to do for you in the 3D. So you need to talk to them in such a way. And if you have to take some kind of action in the 3D, that would be an inspired action. That would not to get them to do something, that would come naturally. So that is called as inspired action. So let us continue. So here this Neville gives an example of another person. So he says that my brother Victor wanted to be a successful businessman, and he knew how to remain faithful to what he imagined. In 1924, when our family didn't have a cent, Victor rearranged the name on a building in his mind's eye to imply we owned it. This he did for 2 years, when, without any more money than what he started imagining, a casual acquaintance purchased the building for us without collateral for $50,000. 8 years ago, we sold the building to a bank for $8,50,000. Can you imagine? And there is no capital gains tax in Barbados. I think this is something which had happened. So when I was going through a lot of job struggle at this point of like a few months back, and I almost lost my job, and so at that point of time, I just I got a vision from God. He told me that the evil would be punished and the good would be rewarded, and that He would save my job. But I didn't know how He could do that. So I just focused, and I think my roommate was always very supportive about me in my situation. She kept on telling me she is not a conscious manifester, but I have shared a lot of things about manifestation to her, because I try to influence my friends group, my network, or anyone who could benefit from it, by making them drawn to this principle, to discipline their thought, to live in the wish fulfilled, to whatever they want, and make the life they want to have. Because I've seen people going through a lot of depression, anxiety, because they think that everything happens to them on autopilot. But things don't happen to you on autopilot. It's just that nobody taught you to discipline your thoughts. So I think even my SP struggled with that, and I tried to help him, but I do not know like how much understanding he has on manifestation, but I do want him to benefit by whatever I had shared with him at some point of time. So yeah, so I feel like everybody should do it. I have tried to influence my family members, whether it's my mother, my grandmother, or any other family member I have. So that's the thing. Okay, so let us continue. So, walking by faith every day, as Victor passed that building, he saw J.C. Goddard and Sons on the marquee in place of the existing name of Iron Roach and Company. Sight told him that the building belonged to another, but faith said that the building was his. By simply rearranging the structure of his mind every day for 2 years, our family fortune changed. Now we are told faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So that what is seen was only out of things that do not appear. Hebrews 11. So this is actually a phrase written in Bible. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So that what is seen was made out of things that do not appear. So here Neville's brother, so they come from a very poor family. They do not have the money to purchase some business building which they wanted to have for starting a business. But I just read it out how somebody, a close relative of him, who did not even know that they wanted to purchases a building, and then they sold it for almost like $8,50,000, which is a huge amount, and they bought it bought it without collateral for $50,000 and sold it at $8,50,000. I mean, that's a huge thing. And that too, there was no capital gains in Barbados. So can you see, like, when you believe, so many things can happen. So every day this his brother would imagine, closing his eyes, that that particular building was his. So that is what we do when our SPs are not in our 3D at this point of time, telling us that, I want to be a partner, or maybe you are waiting for a particular job opportunity and you haven't got a call back from them. So that's what it is. And so many of you are actually working on your health and stuffs, and you see that months have passed, but your healing has not happened. But just believe. So when I got my PCOD, I used to do some meditation on related to this, and I used to tell to my womb that you are healed, you are good, you have no problems, you have regular cycles, and you will be super fertile, and you will deliver proper and healthy babies. So when you talk to your cells, they respond back to you. And this is not just me telling this. I remember that there was a time when my mom had gone through something very similar to her health. So she had a minor stroke at that point of time, and somebody told her that you have been abusing your body by saying a lot of irrelevant and unfavorable stuff to your body, which is what your body heard and gave it back to you. So you need to talk politely to your body. And thereafter she actually started practicing active manifestation for herself. So I feel like uh, when you can, if you have the power to change someone's life, do it. Make them understand this particular principle of manifestation, because it will also, when you become empowered in your own self, your light would shine to other people as well. And that's what I feel like. I've never been that kind of I've never been a popular kid when I was in school. I've never been a popular student when I was in college. I hardly had any friends, or I might have just one, two friends who were really true friends of me. But I've always believed in helping people by making my light shine to others so that I can change someone's life. Because if I can change someone's life, then I feel like I am very lucky to change someone's life, because the power of God shines to me, and that's how I can spread it to others. So this is what it is talking about here. So his brother actually manifested this building to be his business place. So what Neville is trying to tell here is, walk by sight, not by faith, and that is written in Bible as well. And that's why Bible becomes a very important part in your life, or any other religious book you follow, whether it's Gita, whether it's Guru Nanak Granth Sahib, or whatever it is, like whatever religion you are from, it will always tell you to walk by faith. Why faith is important? Because there are certain situations in our life which can't be dealt by sight. So you have a lot of shitty things going on. If you keep on reacting the same way, things will keep coming back the same way. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so one more paragraph which I liked about this chapter a lot. So if you live by sight, accepting everything that happens, you remain an automation, unable to change the conditions and events in your world. Only as you begin to live by faith will your life change. So if you live by sight, accepting everything that happens to you, it's telling you that you are reacting to situations, you are in an automation, you are in a way of you think that everything is automated, everything is decided by someone above you, and you just go on autopilot, and you are unable to change the conditions and events in your world. And that's what my manifestation coach only told me, that you keep on reacting to your circumstance, you keep on complaining about what is not changing in your life, and that's why you never manifest what you actually want, because you keep on accepting the situation and reacting to it. And to be my honest opinion is, that's the thing with everyone these days, because we react by the sight, and that's how it keeps going on and on and on. So that would be such a game changer, to not see the circumstance and just keep affirming, just keep believing, because that's what God helps us with. So when you surrender your situations to God, he would come and step in that void, and he would do something for you in your situation. So I think today was a day wherein I got this message that you walk by faith, not by sight. And though we all know that manifestation is just about that, but in some or the other way, when you are lost in a situation and you get triggered and you get a bit more into non-favorable stuff, at that point of time, just tell yourself that no, this is not my permanent situation, I will come out of this. I still remember one of my friend, he was a very bright student, and he got a very bad offer from some place where after he did his bachelor's, and bad offer as in, like, it was not such a good offer. So he had done engineering on computer science, something like that, and he got an offer from a reality company wherein he was asked to be a salesperson, and that's not what he deserved to be. And that's where he got very disturbed. But he always used to tell me that this is not my permanent place, this is not my permanent place to stay in. And just yesterday, I had a conversation with this friend of me, and he told me he bought a house, that too without a loan. So he really lived what he told. So that's where the real thing comes in. Now, when he said that this is not my final destination, he could have accepted that, okay, he could be a salesperson forever in that particular company, but he didn't accept his situation. He didn't let his current situation or current circumstance may rule him out of what he desired in his life. So that is my message to you, that do not let circumstance rule you out of what you want.